ArcRaiders has got a very interesting and varied story. You've got gigantic robots coming down from space trying to take over Earth. They really don't like people, and all of humanity has been forced underground into a city called Speranza, and that's the only way they're able to survive. But a very interesting point that I haven't seen discussed too much yet is, what about all the traders that are in the city? We've got some very interesting cast of characters here that I'd kind of like to go through today and dig into their lore a little bit. So get ready to meet all of the ArcRaiders traders. The first trader I want to talk about here is the leader of Speranza herself, Celeste. Celeste was the one who originally made Speranza after she lost her home and father to the first wave of attacks from the Ark. She set up Speranza as a safe place for humanity to gather and where they would not be threatened by the robots. Even though she knows that Speranza is not perfectly safe because she's always coming up with contingency plans on how to keep all the killer robots out and what they would do if for some reason they find their way in. Now, Celeste has a very positive and hopeful personality. She is confident that she'll be able to do everything she can to help protect humanity and protect all the residents of Speranza with the help of the raiders going out and getting her materials. Even though, things look very bleak, because it's not good out there. I tell you, every time I go out, there's a lot of robots trying to chop me in half. It's not good. But Celeste is hopeful, and that is great to have around, and really helps bring up the mood down in our little underground city. And a very interesting thing about Celeste is that she trades in seeds instead of normal money, which brings up a very interesting part about her character. There very much still is a normal currency that all the other traders use down here in Speranza. Why exactly is Celeste trading in seeds that really don't have much value to anyone else as we're stuck living underground? That's because Celeste is truly thinking about the future, that if we're able to push the Ark back, take over Earth again, and move back to the surface, she wants to have a collection of seeds and a collection of plants that can be used to repopulate the Earth with useful varieties of plants for food, clothing, everything that they can regrow and help bring humanity back to the surface. You can really see this in the quests she offers, like A Balanced Harvest, which is all about getting agricultural supplies. After the Rain Comes, which is about getting solar panels back working again. The quest literally just called Bees, where you're looking for bees and you care about bees. These are all agricultural stuff, because she wants to truly regrow humanity and get it back to it once was. She is looking ahead and hoping we can beat back the Ark, whereas it seems like a lot of other people down in Esperanza have lost all hope that the Ark will ever be gone, and the new reality is being stuck underground and fighting these robots forever. She does not think that way. She is ever hopeful. But talking about Celeste wouldn't be complete without talking about the types of items she offers, because that kind of builds into her character as well. She offers a lot of items for the raiders to build their own gear. She wants to supply things to the raiders to allow them to succeed on the surface, and in turn, get her the supplies that she wants to help rebuild humanity. She offers crafting supplies to help you build gear to finish quests, or build gear to upgrade your own hideout to build new stuff, or build things for weapons. She's really truly trying to help you succeed the best you can, because unselfishly, she wants you to succeed, and then slightly selfishly, she wants to get all those materials back to help rebuild humanity, which in the end, even though it's slightly selfish, really is unselfish. She's helping humanity. I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but you get the idea. Celeste is great. She's trying to help humanity retake over the world and push the Ark out. Hey, psst, Raider. If you don't subscribe to the channel, I'm going to send a whole pile of Ark to your house, so hit that button while you still got a chance. Alright, thanks. Back to the video. But that's enough about Celeste. Let's move on to our next trader here, because I want to talk about Shani. Shani here is the head of security for Speranza, and oh boy is she a little different than Celeste, because she is wildly paranoid, obsessed, and suspicious of everything. Which, if you think about it and get down to it, is a very good traits to have for a head of security. Because she is actually the person you hear every time you extract from a match. If you're calling in an elevator, you're calling in a train, she's the one who's checking you out and making sure you're not trying to cause problems down in Speranza. She's making sure you're a real raider coming back with loot that'll help bring Speranza prosperity and food and all sorts of stuff, and not, stealing from the city. You even see this when you go talk to her in Speranza in the trading menu. She is focused on her screens and barely looks away to talk to you, even though she will sell you some things. She is focused. She is diligent. She is making sure that her contingency plans have their own contingency plans. If something goes wrong and an Ark gets in, what are we going to do? If a raider goes rogue, how are we going to stop them? She knows. She has a backup plan for the backup for the backup. And that helps greatly in the defense of these giant killer robots that are roaming around the planet here. And you really see this more security-focused mindset with Shani in the quests she offers as well. You've got quests like Clearer Skies, where your only goal is destroy 3 Ark enemies. She wants you to take out the Ark. She's focused on combating the Ark. Or things like Off the Radar, where you're visiting a field depot to repair antennas. You're trying to get communications back up and running so she can communicate with raiders around the planet to focus on fighting the Ark better and focus on communicating with other civilizations that may be left. She is focused truly on how can we best combat the giant robots that are flying around. But how does the items Shani offers in her shop relate to her as a character? She offers things like augments to help you upgrade your character and hold better gear, hold better shields. This is going to help you fight the Arc better if you can hold more ammo, hold more grenades and things, use a better shield. She offers weapons upgrades so your weapons are more effective against the Arc. She offers communication type tools like glow sticks and things you communicate with people from long distance. She offers bandages. That's the only really healing thing she offers, but hey, she does offer them. All her gear is focused on making you more effective against the Arc to make sure that you can take them down as effectively as possible. Now let's move on to our third trader here, Tianwen. Tianwen is a more interesting trader. Unlike the first two traders we talked about, she doesn't actually like the raiders at all. She does not like them, and she always stays behind a door, and you only ever see her eyes. Now, just because she doesn't like the raiders does not mean she does not work with them, because she is plenty happy to provide them weapons as long as they provide her money and the things that she can use for her own personal gain. Something that perfectly shows how disinterested Tianwen is in helping out with projects around Speranza is the fact that you get a quest from Celeste that I'm going to directly read here. It's a quest called Greasing Her Palms. And what you get when you get this quest is a dialogue that says, "Recently, I've been trying and failing to get Tianwen to join our community projects. I may have to sweeten the deal. She's been complaining about the quality of salvage found on the market. Think you could do her a solid." The whole point of this quest is that Tianwen is not cooperating and not helping the city and doing everything for her own personal self-interests. And the goal of the quest is to go get some higher quality things for her to work with so that she's more enticed to work around projects on Speranza and actually help out the community. So from this we can tell that Tianwen is pretty selfish, but for being honest here, in a post-apocalyptic world where giant robots are roaming the planet, I'd probably be pretty selfish too. I'm just gonna take what I can get, sit in my happy little underground home and build some things. I don't know, man. It's the apocalypse. Just let me hang out and build an action figure or something. But you also see this on display in some of her quests, where a lot of her quests are about getting her specific items. She's like, oh, I need this special item. I need a first wave tape, which is from the Broken Monument quest, stuff like that. She needs something specific, and she wants you to go get it. She'll happily pay you for them and give you all sorts of cool weapons and ammo and various attachments and things, but she wants you to get things for her. It's not about helping Speranza, it's about helping her specifically. And what's kind of funny is when you complete the previous quest I mentioned called Greasing Her Palms, you're trying to convince Tianwen to actually help out around, her response in a new quest called What We Left Behind is, and I quote directly from what she says, "Celeste told me you're the one who helped her hound me about pitching in more. I'll say this once, I don't appreciate the meddling, and I have my own reason for refusing. I do, however, appreciate the scrap. Since you're apparently good at tracking that down, I may have a task for you." So even again, trying to bribe her with nice shiny things did not work. But that's not to say that she doesn't have any soft spot around, because her shop. She offers plenty of weapons to raiders, she's happy to fix up weapons, she will help people out as long as it benefits her. And by giving the raiders weapons, that means more fancy scrap is going to come back to Speranza that she can use. So, it may be for selfish reasoning, but she still is willing to help out the raiders a little bit. Now, on to our next trader, we have Apollo. Apollo here is the resident mechanic of Speranza. He can fix anything that moves. Vehicles, weapons, gear, anything, he can fix it. And Speranza was not his original home, actually. He is actually a traveling mechanic, and he is currently in Speranza at the time, which is interesting. That implies how many other areas there are around the world that he could go to go live. That means there are other civilizations that are still surviving and thriving, and something we can certainly dig into in a future video, perhaps. If you guys are interested, please let me know. But, back to Apollo here. He is a very interesting guy because he's a mechanic, and he likes dealing with explosives, and he plays the flute, which I'll say don't quite fit with the first two. You know, the explosives, kind of at risk of losing a finger or two. The flute, you need all your fingers to play a flute. But still, very interesting character point. He's into music and likes playing the flute. Now, Apollo's quests really prove how interested he is with tinkering with equipment and machines, because a lot of his quests are related to you trying out some of the things he develops. Like when he wants you to go destroy a hornet using specifically a trigger grenade or a snap blast grenade in the quest Sparks Fly. He's wanting you to test out his creations and make sure they work well. And if they don't work well, he wants you to let him know about it, as long as you survive from that. Which, you know, interesting way to test out your equipment and have someone else go make sure it works, and if it doesn't, too bad. But he wants you to test out his equipment to make sure it works, so he can hone in that skill and make equipment that does work really well. But it isn't really just explosives and little gadgets he likes working on. He also does like to help work to make Speranza a better place and help make people living here a little bit happier. Because some of his quests relate to bringing books back to stock the library, or it says here specifically that he likes running the kids' football team down here, which is impressive. They can play football and they have enough space to do that, whether we're talking American football with the tossing and the tackling, or we're talking European football with the kicking and the soccer ball. Either way, surprisingly they have enough space down here for that. But cool that he's trying to make people's lives better by focusing on a sport and trying to make a fun activity down here rather than just focusing only on survival. Really probably helps bring the spirits up quite a bit. But to talk about Apollo's shop, to truly finish out his character here, his shop offers all sorts of fun gadgets and explosives. He's got a whole ton of grenades you can use, he's got fun gadgets like the Jolt Mine, the Pulse Mine, you got the zip line you can get from him, you can get a door blocker, Trailblazer, you can get all sorts of crazy gadgets and grenades from him that you can use. And this really shows that he's making all these things for people to go out and use so they can have fun gadgets to help fight off the Ark, and very useful, different creative ways to fight off the Ark, rather than typical just, hey, point your gun at that and shoot at it. You can kind of trick them and work around and like blow them up without them expecting it. This really helps the Raiders kind of get the drop on some of the bigger enemies. Now, if you're trying to take out a bigger enemy, you probably want some explosives just versus a basic gun. Now, moving on to our last trader here, we have Lance. And Lance is a very interesting trader because he, in fact, not a human. He's an android, an eccentric, bubbly android. And I want to go quick through here some of Lance's hobbies, because they are very interesting hobbies for an android. He's a fan of singing at midnight karaoke. He's not very good at it, but he is a fan of doing it. He's always trying to keep up with the latest fashion going on down in Speranza. He's trying to get the latest fashion, again, even though he's an android, still wants fashion. He fights in boxes in Speranza's boxing ring. Which is interesting, because he's an android. I feel like that would very much hurt to get punched by if you were a normal human. They must wear gloves or something. I don't know, man, because I feel like he would have a huge advantage over a normal human. But, very interesting character here because not a human. Also very interesting because he is not an original resident of Speranza either. He came from a place called Toledo, and he is one of the best medics that Toledo has to offer. He offers all sorts of healing gear to the raiders and citizens of Speranza. And you can really see this based on the items he offers in his shop for you to buy. He's got augments you can get, that there's all of them. You got the looting, you got the combat ones, you got the tactical ones, you got everything. You've got shield rechargers, you've got healing gear, you've got shields themselves, heavy, medium, and light shields. You can get whatever you need from him to stay healthy out in the world and just down in Speranza here. And you really see this in Lance's quests, because most of his quests are based around finding healing gear, like in Doctor's Orders, where you're trying to find syringes, antiseptic, durable cloth, great mullion, and also in one quest where you're trying to find other androids in Stellamontis to talk to, which is not healing related per se, but does show an interesting point of his character that he is interested in the other androids around to see what's going on with them, rather than just the humans in Speranza here. But the fact that even though Lance, as an android, is very worried about healing gear, shields, supplies to help you stay healthy, shows how selfless he is as an android, because he doesn't need things like this. He doesn't need to worry about that. He is worried about the residents of Speranza and the raiders and trying to keep them alive and healthy in this Ark-infested world, which really truly shows he is kind of selfless. Even though he's a robot, he's got a heart in there. So, I think that about wraps up everything I wanted to talk to you today about the ArcRaiders traders. Hopefully you found this interesting and learned something about the various traders in ArcRaiders. I feel like most of the story focuses on the Ark themselves and what's going on outside, but there's a whole lot of interesting lore going on down in Speranza that we can dig into. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments, and if you'd like to see other topics on ArcRaiders here about what's going on with the Ark, what's happening outside, what other civilizations might exist, I'd be happy to talk about them if you let me know about it. So, thank you for watching, hopefully you learned something and found this fun, and I'll see you guys next time.